What's up? It's your girl, DJ Rhea. Hey, check out my girl, Sakara.com, honey. We just did an interview you don't want to miss.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Sakara, and right now I'm with DJ Rhea. So I want to start off with your story. Tell me about yourself.
So I'm born and raised in New York. I put this on for a reason, honey. Manhattan, stand up. Okay, I'm on an island. People don't understand. I actually reflected on this other day. I live on an island. Like, my room outlooks on water, so I live on an island. I always wanted to live on an island. I lived in Miami before, so I really appreciate living on an island. Yeah.
I love Miami.
I love Miami too.
I mean, I love Manhattan too, but Miami.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But born and raised in New York. Literally lived here my whole entire life. I'm an athlete by nature. I've played basketball since I've been in 3rd grade, so I really appreciate sports. I love sports. It's been part of my background. It's helped me in my career and helped elevate me and literally helped me evolve into anything that I've been through in any type of like fashion, honestly, because of my backing in sports. So.
Okay. So was it just an inkling? Was it your gym coach? What made you begin playing basketball?
Honestly, the funny thing is I've always had it in me. Like, my dad played basketball, so I literally, since I started playing in 3rd grade, but when I started playing in 6th grade, I used to go up to his gym on 92nd Street and play against him and all these older guys. It was funny. So when I got to a certain age, I'd bust all their ass, and they're like, listen, you can't come back. So sorry for my language, but like, I'd bust their butt, but I couldn't come back after a certain time. So it was funny because I'd literally be in 6th grade rocking these dudes left and right. My dad's like, listen, you can't come back. And I'm like, I'm in 6th grade. This is upsetting. But it's funny. I played up with them until I was in college. So my dad, he's been my inspiration, honestly, on top of that. But I've literally played every sport you can think of. Volleyball, basketball, track field. I was on a swim team for 8 years. I've done everything probably but golf and tennis. So.
You know what? Tennis is pretty cool, though. Like, you never know. Tennis might come later down the line.
I know, but I was occupied. I even wanted to do karate, and my parents were like, it's not going to fit in your schedule. You do too much. Because I literally was on the softball, basketball. Like, I played every sport you could think of. I still continuously play, so I play on literally a volleyball team now once in a while, but I play softball, and I play football, and I play basketball still once in a while. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Football, too.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Okay. So were you doing the same thing in college?
So in college, I was dedicated to sports. I ended up playing overseas after. I got picked up by the WNBA, but I failed my physical. Couldn't play in the WNBA, so I ended up playing overseas in Germany for about 6 to 7 months. I came back in the States, and I ended up working for the New York Knicks. So that's kind of what transitioned me into that. And then I did that for about 5 years. I worked for the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers. And then I ended up leaving and deciding to model and act full time. And that's what I've been doing the past 8 years. So it's been fun and it's been awesome. And actually my boss from the Rangers approached me and was like, I know you love music. You have a background in music, because I used to play violin and flute. And he was like, I have this perfect job for you. And he's like, I have this client that I hire to DJ during intermissions, and they teach models how to DJ. I'm like, shut up. You know, so I was like, listen, okay, let me check it out. So literally they had 7 to 8 girls that they rotated, and it was awesome because it helped platform me to where I am now, because I was like, what is my niche? Like, where do I fit within the game? Because if you think about DJing now and stuff like that, it's like a fad. It's like, oh, I DJ, I do this, I do that. I added DJ on my list. I've been doing the past literally 8 years. I've been grinding. It's a hustle, but it's the love of my life. Like, just like basketball was, I love music. Music connects people. It's the party. It's the life of the party. And, you know, I really appreciate how it connects people just in life.
So I want to ask you, when you were working with the Knicks,
Yes.
What was it like? Because you're, I'm assuming, one of the only few females working with them. Is it usually male dominated?
Yeah. So I worked there 2006, 2012. And it was a rough time, if you remember those days. It was during the Anunka Brown, Isaiah Thomas case. So that's where the Knicks ended up losing about 11 to 12 mil to a female assault, obviously sexual assault case. But it was hard because I worked there for so long, and it was like I literally was blessed and thankful to get into the profession, because a lot of people don't get into the profession after college. Like, I decided to study sports business, and I minored in marketing communications. So I was blessed actually from my college career to play basketball, and if that didn't work out, to be able to work in the field that I studied. So it was just hard because I wanted to excel and I wanted to grow in the business. And after realizing because of that case, they weren't going to let women pass a certain, because she literally was the highest paid woman. Her and another woman were the highest paid woman ever within the field of marketing in the whole NBA. So they had the two highest positions. She ran marketing for the NBA, for the WNBA, and for the NHL. So she did all three teams. So her and another woman were the highest paid women in that position. So it was kind of hard. So like after being there, and I remember going to my promotions meeting, and the VP asked me, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I looked at her, I said, in your seat. Like, what are you talking about? They looked at me crazy. I was like, no. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be a manager for 20 years. I need to like evolve. I need to grow. So like after realizing that point, I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere. So I had a friend that worked within the industry, and I asked them, do you know anyone in modeling and stuff like that? I've always been an athlete and never considered that. But since I did modeling when I was 16 and 17 here and there, because people were like, oh, you should do this. But I was so serious about like sports. I never was like, oh, I should model. So when that came into play, I asked somebody that had a connection, got into that profession, and I've been doing it for the past 8 years, and that's kind of like literally what I've been riding on. I've been signed to Wilhelmina. They've been amazing. I started off with Ford. I ended up with Wilhelmina, and I've been with Wilhelmina for the past 7 years, I want to say. So they've been treating me amazing. I'm in fitness, and I do the runway division. I do a bunch of different things for them, but that's kind of where I'm at in life now. Also adding the DJing. So that's my main time, full career, left and right. And I still participate in basketball. I still work with Nike and Jordan Brand. After I left the Garden, I work with them. I was with Jordan Brand for 5 years. I worked in the performance wear, so I work with all their players like Melo, Russell Westbrook, D Wade. So all those like they had their own shoe line. So I work with all the guys that had their own shoe line. I did trials and things. And I kind of want to get back to that because like it's been a part of me this whole time, and I literally love the youth. It's a part of our next generation and what we're moving into, and you have to instill this knowledge into them. So I want to be there, and I want to do that. I kind of want to get back to that. So I'm still trying to find ways and how I can get back and give back to the community as well. I've worked with Nike in the past few years, giving speeches and talking to young women and stuff like that. I have 2 or 3 young girls that I consistently follow. They play for Notre Dame. One plays for Lincoln out in PA. So like I follow like a lot of the younger girls I mentor because it means a lot to me to see them grow, to see them evolve and stuff, especially knowing where I've come from and like living and learning and being within all of these fields and understanding from perspective like what it takes to be an athlete, live there, see it, left and right. So I kind of just want to give back from where I am right now.
I love that. Yeah, you have so much experience. You've been everywhere. You're the best person to mentor people, and I'm so happy that you are mentoring people. Yes. So I do want to know from you, what was it like being, because you have a feminine aura, you have a vibe that's less tomboyish, but you've played almost every sport.
Yes.
So how did you balance that out? What was that like?
It was hard. My parents really instilled in me school. Like I've averaged a GPA of a 3.8. That's what I meant to say. So I graduated summa cum laude. Like my parents instilled, honestly, my education first. And that's kind of what I wanted to get in, like my scholarship for in college and everything that I wanted to prove to them, like that I got this and this is what I've worked for. And like, I believe in that. Like when people instill that in me, like you go D1, 2, 3, whatever you want, people are calling left and right. So not only was that a boost, but on top of it, my academics was a big push because my parents always instilled that within me. Like, and when I got a free ride, I was like, you know what, let me take advantage of this because I could do whatever I want because I have a free ride. I could study whatever I want. I remember I took so many credits. My senior year, I was taking like 4 or 5 credits. I was bored. And I got mad because I was supposed to get a 4.0 GPA and they gave me an A- my senior year. So I was kind of upset if you think about it. But I literally valued my academics because that's kind of what my parents put forward. And like if I could get a free ride on top of it, I want to instill that in anybody. Like if you play sports, it could get you wherever you want. Like I've made so many connections just because of sports. Like even how people know me now till this day because of what I've done and what I've contributed to the community just playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in New York City playing West 4th Street, Rucker Park. I played everywhere I can think of, Dykeman. I played in all the big tournaments. I grew up playing with the boys. Like 6th grade, I grew up in the projects playing with the boys down the block. Like my parents didn't know I was leaving my area to go play in the hood, but like I was like, It just what it was. Like, even when I played and growing up, my AAU team, I played on the CYO team, which was the Catholic girls school team. But then I also played on the AAU team, which was the hood team. Like, I was Becky on the white girl team, like this, like, ow. You know what I'm saying? It was funny. And then I played on my white girl team. They're like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
Like, it was funny, but
You know what it is.
no, but literally how I helped grow was because of my AAU team. Like, I grew up with the nicest girls. All of my girls, even that I've coached and I've trained me. When I left school, I went back and I coached my high school, St. Michael's. So we produced Kia Vaughn, we produced Epiphany Prince. All these girls are in the WNBA and at Chicago Sky. You could say Mystics, Washington Mystics. All my young girls, Bria Hartley, she's playing overseas now, but they all played for the Liberty. Like, all these girls I helped coach and I helped train and I helped work with, and they've just come from a background from Exodus, the sport, and the team I grew up with. So
I love the fact that you try new things and you're not afraid to go into different realms and different fields and test it out. So I want to ask, with DJing, what is your favorite part about DJing?
Oh my gosh. So my favorite part about DJing is it's never the same, girl. It is never the same party. Every time, like, even if I decided to put a set together and there'd be like, tonight is trap, tonight is hip hop, tonight is indie, tonight is EDM. No matter what I put in my head, even if I put a little and curate a playlist together, it's never that. Like, I'll end up playing, someone will be like, oh, can you play 80s and 90s and the whatever? I'll be like, okay. And then later, of course, they're like, oh, can you play Cardi? Can you play this? Can you do? And I'm like, okay. I already know what time it is. So no matter what it is, I still prepare and curate a list for what my clients want always, because you have to satisfy your clients. But at the same time, I satisfy my crowd. So I love different crowds. I love different genres. I'm mixed. I'm half Irish, quarter black, Native American. So I love music. I'm very eclectic. I grew up on Bob Dylan. I grew up on Paul Simon, Bob Marley. Like, my dad used to play all this, the Gypsy Kings. So I'm just like, I never understood hip hop till I was late. Like, honestly, listen, if you really want to understand, my first hip hop album was probably Dangerous Minds soundtrack, and like Life After Death. Probably Biggie was like what I grew up on, like, which is funny because people are like, okay, how old are you and this and that, and I'm like, I should have grew up on this and that, but I didn't. Like, it's just my background. But what I've appreciated and understood is just literally like the melting pot of music, and that's what I spin. So if you ever heard one of my sets, you would hear every genre within like an hour or two set, just because I appreciate it. You'll hear reggaeton, you'll hear reggae, you'll hear a little Afro beats, you'll hear a little bit of hip hop, trap, you'll hear a little indie, little disco, little EDM. Like, I literally hit you with everything because I love music and I appreciate everything. And honestly, if you just thought of yourself as being one track, solo minded, you're just shorting yourself in life. Like, I literally do this to my younger girls when I sit there and I talk to them. And I'm like, where do you see yourself in life? What do you where do you want to be? Don't give me one answer. Give me 2 to 3. Because maybe, say, you want to go the WNBA and it doesn't work out. You break your ankles, something happens. What else do you see? So when I did those inspirational speeches and just hearing these young women, I want to be a Navy SEAL, I want to be an astronaut. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you understand, like, just to hear what their minds and where their minds go, like, you need to think like that because you never know. Like, I work for the NHL, I work for the WNBA. I was the fan camp. I can't even go into the list of certain things that I've done because it's not like I put myself there. I literally have been placed in positions where people have instilled certain things in me and said, listen, you could do this. And I've been like, okay. Like, for me to work for the NHL, girl, I don't know anything about hockey. I worked for 3 years. I was the floor director. I ran the whole arena of the freaking MSG. And I'm going, how did I get this position? They're like, it has nothing to do with you understanding anything about hockey. It's your personality and how you move. And I was like, okay.
Right? Okay, I'm with that.
Okay, we could do this. And like, that, honestly, his name is Ryan Halkett. He's the best boss I've ever had. He's instilled so much thing. Like, honestly, he's the one that got me into DJing. I literally was bartending, and he came in one night and was like, I got this job for you. We got this halftime show that DJs during the intermissions at NHL games, and they teach models how to DJ. I know you're modeling, and I know you love music. I think this is for you.
Boom. Right.
Girl, I wasn't like, oh, I should DJ. This is going to be great. No, like, you understand. So things like, just because of the life and just, I have so much faith. Like, I give everything to God, but I have so much faith in life and how I move that I believe if you move the right way and you do the right things, you'll be rewarded and you'll be blessed. So like a lot of things that happened to me have just happened because of connections and networking. I've never been like, this is what I should do. Like I said, like I've been so fortunate to be in the places I've been because of how I move, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I want to know, what are 3 things that led you to where you are today?
Whew, okay. Networking, number 1. Yes, I believe in networking 100% because if I didn't talk to people, if I didn't go to places, if I didn't just open up to people about what I do, and I wouldn't be where I've had to be, right? Number 2, never be afraid to ask for help. Like, I have an ego as well, and it was one of the hardest things for me to do, to be like, can you help me out? I need you. Like, if we connect and we move a certain way, to ask somebody for help. It humbles people, and it puts you in a position to see who's really there for you, because if you don't put yourself in those positions, you never know who's really there for you. And if I'm grinding and I say, I need your help, and you can't help me out, I know where you sit and I know where you stand. And it is what it is. I don't have time to take salt and be like, yeah, I'm whatever salty about this. But, like, you got to keep moving, you know? And number 3, just love and faith, honestly. Because literally my mother, my father has instilled this in me. God, everything, but just to have faith no matter what it is. Because the industry that I'm in, especially for modeling, acting, things like that, you get the door shut down on you left and right. And it has nothing to do with you, if you think about it at the end of the day. And this is what I was not taught. I wish someone would have said this to me early. Like, girl, it has to do with the client. It has to do with whatever. You just keep doing what you got to do. But then at the same time, I had to learn, like, maybe I shouldn't wear this to a casting. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should present myself like this. There's other ways. People don't want to tell you about, like, how to work and maneuver. They're selfish, right? But everything's a learning experience. So 1, 2, 3, keep your eyes open, right? And at the end of the day, just keep faith and love. Like, yeah.
Thank you. And I know the world can't wait to see what you're doing next. I can't wait to see what you're doing next. Can I have your social media, such as your Instagram and Twitter?
So you can find me at DJ Rhea NYC. That's my website, DJ Rhea NYC. I have a full website. You can hear tracks. You can hear anything. I have mixes on there. You can find out about me, my bio. I have my EPK, photos, all the good stuff. Okay. Follow me, Rhea5 on IG, on Twitter. And yeah. Or DJ Rhea, like I said, NYC on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, which I don't go on that much. It's too invasive.
I don't blame you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Make noise like, ooh, Jules, how you do it so smooth. I ain't even got an answer. Shorty looking like my private dancer. Tell him stack your jeans, you ain't gotta put your pants up.